Hey y'all, my name is Teddy. I was recently told that I should do a video a little bit about my journey and my process and what got me to where I am today and how I can now call myself an intuitive, or some people would say a psychic medium. I don't go by that term. I don't identify as a psychic medium. Maybe a psychic small, psychic large. No, I don't like the word psychic, to be honest, because I don't feel as though I know things that you couldn't know as well. So we'll start there. Also, let's take 3 very deep breaths because I'm nervous. I don't know that I've ever really told some of my story before, so I'm nervous. So I'm going to breathe deep and appreciate where I am. So maybe take this time to take 3 deep breaths yourself. Maybe find something you're grateful for, like my dog being curious as to what's going on. I'm grateful for that. Oh, okay. Nervous system regulated. I want to talk a little bit about my journey and hopefully cover peace, power, fire, passion, alchemy, healing, teaching, intuition, and how I got here. Just like many of you, I started out as a kid with many experiences that I'm not going to get into. However, I was very driven from a very young age to always do well. I wanted to be the best at everything that I attempted. So I worked really hard, especially physically, sports, and academics, a little bit of music and some other areas. Now, mind you, one of the reasons why I wanted to be the best at everything that I did was because I was constantly looking for validation and security and safety. And I thought if I got really good at something or anything, something might lead me to a safer me. I had no idea how to get there. So I went off to college after high school and did a lot of the college things that you do. Explore, experiment, get to know more about myself. And somehow that led me into a lot of drinking and drugs and a lot of relationships, men and women, and and dogs. So I guess during this process I started to realize, shit, I don't have a purpose. I don't know what I want to do. And I thought I wanted to teach, but I didn't know who or what or how. But originally I started in school for teaching. I ended up pursuing a lot of degrees. And I did finish and have a lot of areas that I'm adept at. But I was still very insecure and still trying so hard, working constantly at pleasing everyone around me, because their opinions mattered more to me, their ideas mattered more to me, their worth mattered more to me. And before I knew it, within 5 years after I graduated from college, I'm still without a purpose and trying all kinds of things, you know. So all the while, oh, I should preface by saying this. I do swear, so if it bothers you, I'm kind of a sailor. You might want to click off. I also vape, and I'm sharing pretty vulnerably, so I might be swearing a bit, and I might be vaping a bit. So if that bothers you, this might not be for you, this video. So here I am, going off in the world. I graduated from college. I have, many areas that I can go into. Still trying to please everyone around me, still begging for validation, just very, very low self-esteem, very, very low self-worth. And it just seemed as though the nicest people always had drugs. And, the more drugs I did, the nicer they seemed. Well, for a while. Anyway, not forever. But I started to realize that in order to find my purpose and the many possibilities that could come before me, I might need to live in order to do that. Because, by this point, I was a full-blown meth addict, and meth was my drug of choice. I was pretty sure that I wasn't going to make it to live out a purpose if I continued down that path. Well, maybe not sure. I toggled with the idea that, I guess you're gonna have to live if I really want to do something with my life. So even though it wasn't intentional, I started on a healing path in order to heal myself. I figured out that I did want to live. Quite a few instances got me to realize that that might not happen if I continued to follow that path. It got scary and dangerous and expensive. So, I started in the recovery rooms and with a therapist. I also started looking into breath work, meditation. I started working towards artistic endeavors to help with the healing as well. It seemed to be just about the only thing that kept my attention was creating something or making something, building something, painting something, drawing something. So art became a big part of my recovery, and meditation became a big part of my recovery, as well as working out at the gym. I was working out. I think I replaced my addiction quite well with the gym and art, and became a little addicted to both for periods of time. But they were healthier choices. Still, all the while, dating, being in relationships, begging for validation, people-pleasing like crazy. And by this point, I was already doing hair, which became an excellent vehicle for me, kind of like a womb where I could wear whatever I wanted, listen to loud music, set my own schedule, deal with people, have some creative autonomy and a creative outlet, as well as, I guess, at least meet people that might know what my purpose is, because I was still wondering. And the more you talk to people, I thought maybe there'd be something that I could find that would suit me. Completely still not realizing the fact that here I am surrounding myself in art and all kinds of healing modalities, not even thinking that this could be a purpose. Because to me it was like, well, this was just my mechanism to be able to live so that I could find my purpose. And I guess finding a reason to live was my purpose. And all of the ways in which I was able to find passion, find excitement, all of these things became essentially my purpose. At this point, I'm still under the mindset that I needed to find a purpose, master it, and then give it away. That would be my life's journey. It was confusing. I don't know if any of you have any recovery experience, but early recovery is very difficult, very chaotic, because once you take away your coping mechanisms, that's when the shit starts to actually hit the fan, because you start to unravel and you start to live a chaotic life, and that's when you have to start attacking the behavioral patterns that are the reasons behind the outcomes that I was consistently receiving, or so I thought. Now, I guess I didn't even see myself as healing. I saw myself as finding something to do so that I didn't die. And I found a lot of things to do so that I didn't die. I've studied so many modalities. YouTube. If there were rewards on YouTube for learning, I probably would have some sort of a trophy, because many of those years were spent hours upon hours learning different modalities, learning different mechanisms of the brain, learning about the brain, learning about behaviors, learning about behavior modification, learning about coherence, adaptive coherence mechanisms. I can't even, like, resonance, nervous system regulation, learning how to control my nervous system, and learning how to witness myself and my behaviors, and then actively, mindfully make personal changes in how I behaved, how I responded instead of reacted. I was extremely passionate always, and very fiery. I was, and still am, a very fiery, passionate person. So peace was not my default mechanism. Chaos, passion, finding people to co-sign my bullshit, I was pretty good at those things. And I think one of the, one of the there's ups and downs of being a people pleaser, because as a people pleaser, yeah, you're needing people to validate you, but then you actually learn how to please people, which it teaches you how to get what you want. And before I was aware of really what I was doing, I was manipulating people to get what I wanted in order to, I don't know what I was trying to do. I guess I was still trying to find something to do. I was fiery. I thought I had a pretty big ego, to be honest. I'm not to say that I don't have an ego anymore. I still face my ego daily, but at the same time, I no longer use my powers for evil. I use my knowledge to help people, and I don't need people to do things for me, and I certainly don't need to manipulate people to get them to do things for me. I can actually just ask without fear, like, hey, I'm not feeling well. Is it okay that, maybe we go get something to eat? Instead of manipulating something like that. Like, I think I was under the impression that nobody actually wanted to do anything for anyone, and everything had to be a secret endeavor to get things done. My mind was fucked. Like, and I'm sure there's some of you that can relate. Like, rewiring the brain is no joke. The things that we do and the things that we tell ourselves, and it takes so long to realize, like, wow, I was telling myself this in order to get this, when, it's like A to D to E to F to C to B in order to get to, back to A or B, when all I had to always really do was A to B. It's actually pretty simple. Ask for help, which was impossible for me. Well, I don't want to say impossible. It was not easy. I did not like asking for help, because if I had to ask for help, then I was sharing my vulnerability. And when people know where you're vulnerable, they can take advantage of you. So therefore, I didn't want anyone to know where I was vulnerable. So of course, I'm not going to be direct and just ask for help, because then they're going to know me and what I need. And that was dangerous in my mind. I couldn't tell you why. Maybe I could, but we don't have that much time. So anyway, all this to really say, this process of recovery led me down a path to rewiring my brain, to learning how it is that I could find a path to peace and learn about the brain, learn about healing, heal myself, learned that I was empathic, learned that I had an enormous propensity for intuition. I didn't realize that all these years of, trauma response, I had been creating an algorithm in my head of all kinds of experiences and layering them all on top of each other and creating an entire mechanism that could tell you outcomes of everything that's happening, just because I was scared shitless to be honest. So I could learn all of the possible outcomes so that I could be safe, because I was so scared of the truth and vulnerability and people knowing me, I still battle a little bit with letting people know me. And that's something I still work on with my therapist still. Getting a lot better at that. Obviously, here we are. And you're knowing more about me now in the past, 15 minutes than I've shared. Okay. Rather than talk a lot about how fucked up my mind was and why I did what I did, I think it's more important to say that I'm sorry for what I did and who I was based on how my mind was programmed to behave, programmed by everything around us. I was consistently, or actually, I was, because of how the environment affected me, I registered every single experience in my life as a threat until I was in my 40s, probably deeply into my 40s. While I was still recovering, I was still registering things as threats. And all the while, I was studying the brain, cognitive, the mind, consciousness. Talk about going down an addict hole. I started with the mind, behaviorally. And then I got into some more physical aspects of healing, the more somatic, resonant paths dealing with the nervous system and trying to really control my body. Because I understood my mind, and I was still rewiring my mind, but now I had to actually bring it into the body, and that somatic resonance was a part of the next system that I really kind of learned. All the while, very interested in spirituality, because that's a part of the question once you get deep into the mind and consciousness is why, who, where, who's me, who's not me, what else is there? So I studied the mind and the body and the spirit areas of healing in order to figure out more about me and how I could be the best me possible, maybe learn how to be peaceful and not manipulative, and just learn how to just enjoy drinking a cup of tea or something, because I'm pretty fiery. I mean, now, yeah, it's been a while, so I can say I'm pretty peaceful, but for many years, I was everything but peaceful. I was a wreck. I was a mess. I was chaos. I was dramatic. I was emotional. I was confused. I was erratic. And I was an artist. I guess I still am. But I wrote a lot. I painted a lot. Did a lot of hair. About 16,000 people. I've done the math. I've also learned that I definitely have a propensity for using my brain, because I do like the cognitive abilities that I've been gifted. Often wonder if I hadn't had so much healing to do, what I could have been. Maybe an architect, I don't know. But, I don't know. As the three real major modalities, mind, body, and spirit, I was really engulfing like a machine. I'm an addict. Give me something to suck up. and I'm going to do it. So I did, and I learned tremendous amounts of things from YouTube and from experienced practitioners. I went to many practitioners for healing modalities. And just started designing my own systems for my own healing. Lots of interesting experiments, and lots of successes, some failures. But what I really started to gain insight into was the etheric reality, because little did I know throughout this entire process of learning and healing, I was slowly becoming an alchemist and learning how to create algorithms for everything and how to create workable systems in order to find my path to healing. I don't know. Maybe someday I'll find my purpose. But I don't know. I've started to realize the process is the purpose. So for me, I'm just going to keep learning, keep designing systems that could help with my healing, and share the systems with others, be of service. I've learned things, a lot of things, that have shown me my path to peace, shown me my path to coherence. And now it's time to give it away. And that's kind of where I'm at. I had a client say to me recently, you certainly don't make healing look glamorous. I said, yeah, I know. Because I tell them a little more about the stories. But then she said, which really hit me, but you do make healing look possible. And that's when I decided it was maybe important to make this video. Now, I'm not getting into my stories right now. You don't need to hear all that shit. God, I certainly don't want to dredge any of that up, but if we ever meet in person, I'm sure I'll share. I get pretty wily when I get rambling away, telling things that happened during my life, waking up in other states, mentally and physically. Yeah, so it's been quite a journey, and I guess at this point, I write a lot, and I'm in the process of writing 2 or 3 things, maybe more. Yeah, probably more. But I write a lot, and I just started a new podcast as well. There's a lot more work that I have to do to bring that about too, so I'm on that. But over the course of this next year, you might see a little more of me, because it's time to share. I might not know my purpose yet, but I do know it's time to give away what it is that I've gained. And I have something to give. I have a lot to give. And I just want the opportunity to do that. I want to help. I'm not doing it because I want to please you anymore. I'm really happy. Whether you're pleased with me or not, I'm happy. And if there's anybody that I'm trying to please now, it's my dog. It's me. I'm proud of how far I've come. I've worked really hard. And I've been through a lot. And if there's anyone that I can keep from having to go through any of what I had to go through because of something that I've learned, I can maybe help someone else from having to go through some of what I've had to go through to get there. The systems that I've created are still, well, in the notes in my phone, in the notes of my computer, in the notes of other phones, in the notes of my notebooks. I've got thousands of notebooks, 97 journals, 3 computers, and 5 phones filled. So I got a little information somewhere. I just gotta find it. ADHD doesn't help with that. So I guess really what I'm trying to say is I'm here to help. And maybe I can have cute hair while I do it. And maybe I'll make you laugh. Sometimes I'm funny. I get funnier and funnier the more comfortable I get, so if I keep doing this, keep developing a relationship with this damn thing, I think more of me will become available. And yeah, I'm kind of excited. I feel like I'm starting a new job. Actually, I know I'm starting a new job. I'm starting to do some real work with the work that I've done. And I've been developing a lot of systems to help. And I give a shit. I give a shit about you. I give a shit about me, but especially my dog. And for the most part, over the course of this rollout, over this next year, actually probably next 10 years, to be honest, I've got a lot planned. So I want to welcome you and introduce myself appropriately. And I did it without crying. That's a big deal, because I thought for sure I was going to cry. I almost did. I almost cried, but I didn't. I did get nervous, though. I'm pretty nervous. I'm not comfortable all the time talking to this damn phone. I'm pretty comfortable around people. I think I'd be all right on a stage if you ever want to hire me to speak a little better in live circumstances. I'm still adjusting to this virtual digital stuff. I'm like, God. It's so weird to look at yourself while you're talking. I don't know. I'm still adjusting to that. I prefer looking at my clients while I'm talking. But I'll get used to it. I have to just pretend like I'm one of my clients because I'm my best client. Most hardworking. And most consistent. So I hope to be of some help. I figure in the next month I have 8 hours of content of the podcast to go through and start to divvy up. And some of the systems that I've designed, I'm probably going to be running workshops. Simplistic in nature, a lot of it is early education of you. And asking you a lot of questions so that you can know things about yourself. The source of everything is know thyself. So that's where we will begin. Because that's what I did. I got to know myself. Let's hope you're not as crazy, obstinate, and weird as I am. But if you are, just remember, none of us are broken. We're just works in progress. It ain't over till it's over. So just keep going. So yeah. Know thyself. I love you. Stay well. Catch you next time.